Welcome. We will talk on riveted joints today, and the topics to be discussed are the tensile failure or the tearing failure of the plates, and the crossing failure of the rivet, the shearing failure of the rivets, the margin failure of the plate, and the calculation how to calculate the hole diameter of the rivet, and the pitch length of the rivets, and some problems on the riveted joint. So these are the topics we are going to study. So before that, let me discuss the tearing, crossing and shearing and margin failure. So we'll also talk about how to calculate the hole dia and the pitch, but first let me talk about this one. So if I show you a riveted joint, and this is the top plate and this one is the bottom plate, and this is its cross section, and these two plates are joined with the help of rivets. Like this, there are rivets, and this is the pitch length, and we assume that if it is failing along the holes made in the plates where the rivets are kept, riveting is done. If this is the rivet line on which several rivets are done on the plates, and we make holes to do the rivets on the plates, and the plates get weakened, and this is the section about which the tearing of the plate takes place. I told you tearing means it is just like tearing into, just like this it will happen. So if P is the pull applied to the top plate and bottom plate, this is typical case of a lap joint. You see this area where I am just shading, this area is actually this length minus number of rivets into the thickness of the plate. But if you consider the per pitch length, because these are the repeated, if you calculate for per pitch length, it will be applied for the whole plate. So per pitch length, the area will be P minus half D from this side and half D from this side. So it will be P minus D. Actually it is P minus D into T is the area. So this is the area per pitch length, which is providing the tensile resistance against the tearing failure. So the resisting area for tearing of the plate at the section weakened by rivet hole is this much, and when you multiply it by the corresponding tensile strength of the plate, so per pitch length tensile or the tearing load that the plate can withstand will be equal to sigma T into P minus D into T. So this is the formula. So if this force, this is the limit, and if the force applied, this is, let's say it is PT. So if the force applied P is greater than this, then the failure will happen. If the force, the joint will fail in tearing if the applied force P per pitch length is greater than the PT, then the failure will happen. So the tearing, we have discussed about the tearing of the plate at the section weakened by the rivet holes. Now we'll be talking about the crossing of the rivets. So you see this is the plate and the rivet I have taken out this one, and let me show you this much portion of the rivet out of the entire shank portion is inside the plate, and if the force is applied, so this much of force will be actually pressing this much portion of this cross section of this section of the rivet under tremendous compressive force. So because of that, we have taken the compressive resistance sigma C and this area will be thickness into the diameter. So this is the diameter of the rivet and this is the thickness of the plate, sigma c. So this will be, and if you say if the load is greater than this per pitch length of the rivet, then it is going to give you the crossing failure. So we will also talk about the shearing failure of the rivet. So the shearing failure of the rivet, see this is a lap joint and the top plate is pulled and the bottom plate, top and this pulled apart in different direction. There was a rivet. When there is failure occurs, so at this section the rivet gets separated like this. It was a complete rivet and the axis was here. Now it is getting separated. And the area, this is the shearing area, that is pi by 4 d square. If this is the d, if dia is d here, from here to here it is dia d, so pi by 4 d square is the resisting area to the shear, and that area into the shear strength of the material is giving the shearing strength per pitch length. If number of rivets per pitch length is 1, then it is 1. If number of rivets per pitch length is more, so you have to multiply the number of rivets per pitch length here. So similarly, if it is in double shear like in butt joint, so the top plate, the cover strap, the bottom cover strap and the main plate, and this is the rivet, it is riveted, the total pull is P, it is shared by the top and bottom, half and half amount. So the rivet will shear at these two sections. So there will be two areas of pi by 4 d square, and here also it is pi by 4 d square. So it can be this shearing strength will be 1.75 times tau s into pi by 4. Sometimes it is taken as 2, sometimes it is taken as 1, little less than 2, it is 1.75. It is recommended as per the boiler regulation, that's why 1.75 is taken. Then we talk about the shearing of the margin holes. So if you think of this as a joint, and this is the top plate and that was the bottom plate, and they are joined, and there is one rivet, and the rivet if it is too close to the edge, it will shear. So the margin will be this side M and this side M, and the area will be M into T, so the 2M into T, and this is the shear. So this, if the load P is greater than the PMS we calculated, then the failure will happen, otherwise it will not be failing. So this is all about the types of different types of failure we have discussed, and that is about tearing, shearing, crossing and margin failure. And we will be talking about the calculation of the hole diameter later on. Before that, let me talk about what are the assumptions taken. We are taking several assumptions we are considering, though there are holes are drilled and it should be ideally subjected to stress concentration, but we are not considering for simplicity of the calculation. Rather, these things has been taken in case of the factor of safety. So assumptions in calculations of the strength of the joint. We assume that whatever tensile load is applied to the joint, it is equally distributed over the pitch length. Per pitch length, what is the load is being equally distributed. In reality, it is more near the rivet and it is gradually decreasing. And but for the simplicity of calculation, we consider the tensile load is equally distributed over the pitch length, and total load is also equally divided among all the rivets. If there are 10 rivets, so total load is divided on each rivet, and we do not consider bending of rivets during the application of the load when the joint is subjected to. Sometimes, in many cases, the bending of the rivets takes place. We don't consider that. We assume that the rivets are intact and there is no bending occurring while they are subjected to the load. We will also consider no stress concentration happening because of the holes are drilled for riveting. Actually, in the stress concentration has to be a must part because you are removing material, but we don't consider this. And we also do not consider that there exists some friction in between the two plates. They are joined, but in reality and there is bound to be having some friction, but we don't consider the interfacial friction between the two plates while they are subjected to load. So these are the assumptions we are considering while the calculation of the strength of the joint. And we talk about the efficiency. Now so this efficiency of the joint, if only pitch length of the solid or the hole free plate is considered or a defect free plate is considered, then the load carrying capacity will be pitch into thickness into if it is an intact plate and there is no hole. So if this is the pitch length, and this is the thickness, so the strength will be pitch into thickness in the area. This is the area, and the sigma t is the corresponding tensile strength of the plate. So that will be the solid strength of the. But we have already calculated the tearing strength, the shearing strength, the coursing strength, the margin shear strength. All of them we have to see, and whichever is the least among these things, that has to be in numerator and divided by the solid strength of the plate, which is this one, into 100 is going to give you the efficiency of the joint. A typical efficiency of lap joint in single riveted joint is about 45 to 60%. It can be little higher than in 60% in some cases, maybe up to 65%. Double riveted joint, normally it should be varying between 63 to 70%. Triple riveted joint, normally it is varying from 70 to 80%, depending upon the types of joint configuration, pitch, diameter of the rivet, and the skills in joining. Butt joint will also have is little higher than the lap joint. For single riveted it is 55 to 60%. For double riveted it is 70 to 83%. Triple riveted 80% to 92%, and quadruple riveted joint it is 85 to 95%. Then we will be talking about the last thing, with the calculation of the hole dia and the pitch. So this is the last, the calculation of the hole dia and diameter and the pitch of the joint, because this is very important. It will tell you what should be the diameter of the rivet you should take while joining, while making a joint, and how far this has to be placed. That is the pitch. And after that we will be talking about the problems on riveted joint. So for ideal joint, the rivet should be equally strong in shearing and in crossing. Equally strong in shearing and crossing. So if you consider one rivet per pitch length, then this pi by 4 d square into tau s is the shearing strength, that is equal to d into 2 into sigma c is the crossing strength. If you take this one, so diameter of the rivet will be 1.2 times 7 to 74 times sigma c by tau s into the thickness of the plate. That is in single shear. For double shear you have to multiply 2 here. So for double shear you have to multiply 2 here. So it will be divided here and you get 0.637 into sigma c by tau c, and this is in double shear. If you take an example of a steel rivet which is having 60 megapascal as shearing strength and crossing strength is about 630 megapascal, and so you put this thing here in this sigma c and tau, you will get this will be in single 2.75 times of t and double C. That means if you do a double a board joint, so you should be having a small thickness plate, and that is a small diameter of the rivet you have to take, because the diameter of the rivet is 1.37 times the thickness of the plate. If we consider again the shearing strength is equal to the tearing strength, then you have to, this is the tearing strength and this is the shearing strength, and you see this the equation is P is equal to pitch is equal to, so for finding out pitch you have to consider the tearing strength is equal to shearing strength. For finding out the diameter of the rivet, you have to consider the tearing strength is equal to shear. So this is the two things you have to hole dia and pitch. For hole dia, you have to compare tearing strength. This is you have to consider the tearing strength is equal to crushing strength. For pitch, you have to consider the shearing strength is equal to the tensile strength. So in this case, we find out this one, and the pitch value is coming out 0.628 into this. If you consider this as the standard plate dimension, the plate or the rivet materials property, then you see the pitch is coming out to be this much. So sometimes you also use Unwin's formula, which where the diameter of the rivet is equal to 6 into root over t. This is thickness of the plate in millimeter, and this is known as Unwin's formula. So this is welcome to lecture 19, where we will be talking about the application of the riveted joint with the help of an example. And the example, the question is, a band brake is attached to the hinge by means of a riveted joint, and it is to determine the size of the rivets needed for carrying a load of 10 kilonewton. And also we have to find out the width of the band which is required for braking application, and the permissible stresses in shear, in tension and in compression for both the band and hinge material is given to be for tensile strength it is 80 Newton per millimeter square, for shear stress it is 60 Newton per millimeter square, and for compressive stress it is 120 Newton per millimeter square. And it is given in the question that we have to assume the margin of 1.5 D. D is the diameter of the rivet, and the back pitch and the normal pitch is of same magnitude. They are of equal length. The P is the P. So this is the, we want to have a band brake like this as shown in this figure, and this is the three-dimensional picture of the band brake, where top one is the band and inside below this there is a hinge, and the top one and bottom are riveted as shown in figure. And let me talk about what is a band brake. Band brake is just like this. This is the wheel, and the wheel is rotating, and if you want to stop the wheel, so you have to apply the brake. So how do you apply? There is a band around it, and the band is made of brake lining material, and that is being riveted. That is being riveted to the hinge. The hinge is this one. Hinge is connected to the lever. This is the lever, and to that the hinge is connected. To the hinge the band is riveted. Once you apply a force P to that, it will be pressing against the drum of the wheel and try to stop this brake. So this is the application of the band brake. So we will be the band brake is attached to the hinge by means of a rivet. So this is what I am showing. So in this case it is asked to find out this is the side view of this one is the hinge, and the top one is the band brake. This one is band. So they are riveted. This is one row of rivet, this is the second row of rivet, and when you see from the top, you see bottom one, this one up to this one is the hinge. On top of that, the band is there. There are 4 rivets. They are riveted in 2 rows, two rivets in each row. So total is given, and it is also asked you to find out the width of the band. What is required to what is the width of the band required to withstand a load of 10 kilonewton, and the material strengths are also given in this. In tension it is this much, 80 Newton per millimeter square. In shear it is 16 megapascal, and these are data are given. Now we want to see what are the possible way of failure. The first way of failure is, so the possible way of failure is, first of all, the rivet may shear. So the rivet, there are 4 rivets, all the 4 rivets may shear. This may shear, and shearing will take place at this location, at the interface between the hinge and this. So it may shear off. It may shear off like this at these locations. So there will be 4 such locations, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it may shear, all the rivets may shear. That is one. Second is the crossing of rivet. I have already talked about the crossing of rivets or crossing of the plate. So we will talk of the crossing of the rivet and plate together, and crossing of the rivet we will consider, and tearing of the, then tearing means it will be tearing into pieces. So this will be the weakest section, because there are holes here, and this section there are holes, so it may shear. So if it is pulled and this is fixed and this is pulled, it may shear from this location or from this location. It may tear from this location. So when it is tearing, this is the weakest section, because there are holes at this section. So it may tear at this location and completely being separated, or it may tear at this location along with the front 2 rivets either shear or cross, because only if it is tearing at this location, it will not be completely separated. Because if you look at this figure, suppose the plate tears and get separated, and this is separated, still it will be in contact, because the front 2 rivets are there to retain the top one from the band to the hinge. So if it is tearing at this location, along with the front 2 rivets has to be shearing or has to be crossed. So whatever possible things has to be there. So if I say this is YI section, this is called XX section, the tearing takes place YI section, or it may happen. So possibilities of failure are this, and we'll check which is the weakest thing, and the weakest thing will be the criteria for design. Out of these, which is the weakest one? The weakest one will be the one based on which the design of this joint has to be there. We know that there are 4 rivets, so you have to see, and it is also asked you to find out the back other parameters like back pitch and other things. So if all of them shear, if all the 4 rivets shear, there are 4 such things, all the 4. So if shear, all of them shear failure of all rivets takes place. So what will be the shearing? Like if this is the rivet and it is broken into pieces and it is separated and it is becoming like this. So it's shear up. So the shearing area will be pi by 4. This is the force and this is the force. So the shearing area will be pi by 4 d square into shear stress. So pi by for d square will be, because this is a lap joint. This one is, so only one single cross section will be in shear. So it will be pi by 4. So it is for one rivet, shearing area is this much. Shearing area for 4 rivets, because there are 4 rivets. So shearing area for 4 rivets is this pi by 4 d square into tau into 4. Tau is the maximum shear stress that the plate can, that rivet can withstand. So this is total will be pi by 4 d square. Tau is given as 60. The tau is given as 60. So pi by 4 d square. This should be equal to the strength of the joint. But that is the load carrying capacity. That is 10 kilonewton. So 4 rivets altogether in shear should resist the 10 kilonewton. So in this case, pi by 4 d square into 60 shear stress into 4 it should be equal to 10. And so we will find out the diameter of this rivet to be 7.28. So if you take the diameter of the rivet to be 7.28 millimeter, then it will take 10 kilonewton load for this joint configuration. That means 4 rivets, and the thickness of the A is given to be 3 millimeter. The band. Here in this case, the band as well as the rivet material have same strength. Now let us see, if we take diameter of the rivet to be 7, then it is going to resist it will not fail in shear, and it can easily take the load of 10 kilonewton. Now if you, what will be the crossing? If we consider out of the possible failures, we see that this comes out to be diameter is 7.28 millimeter. Now if you check for this one, for crossing, the crossing will be actually this area. This area I have shown, this area I have deeply shaded. That is this area. This is diameter and this is the thickness. So this will be the crossing. Crossing of the rivet will take place in this way. So D into 2 will be for one rivet, and there are 4 rivets. So 4 into D into 2 is the crossing area, and sigma C is the crossing resistance of the bolt material, for the rivet material. So that should be equal to, crossing resistance should be equal to 10 into 10 to 3 Newton, which is the load. So we consider all the 4 things cross, 4 rivets cross, and it will take care. So what will be the diameter? We don't know. Thickness is given to be 3. D is equal to this. We can find out the diameter is coming out to be 6.94. For shear, to resist this shear failure, you require at least 7.28 millimeter dia. But even though diameter is less than that, that is 6.94, it will sufficing the crossing failure. That means if you take 6.94, it will sustain the crossing failure, but it will not sustain the shear failure. But if you take the diameter to 7.28, which is larger than this, it will be sufficing it will be loading, taking a load of 10 kilonewton and not fail in shear. So the largest of them is 7.2, so we will take 7.28. But crossing a plate will be avoided if you take, there is other possible of failure, the crossing of plate. So this is avoided if you consider the margin to be AM is equal to 1.5D if you take, so this will not be happening. So in this case we take the margin to be 1.5D, so crossing of plate is avoided. Crossing of plate is avoided, so that's why it will not again happen. Now the other possible failure is plate may fail at XX, a plate may fail at YY, that is in tearing. That is, tearing means it will be tearing like this. It will be tearing like this. So there are two locations. What is this location? Other is this one is XX location, and if it is failing at this location, so this part of this will be completely separated. But if it is failing at this location, still it will be not separated completely, because the front rivet will be holding them together. Because this top one, which is the band which is being joined to the bottom one, if it is failing at this location, cracking through crack, it will not separate it, because these two will be holding this together. So failure tearing at this location is always associated with either shear of the rivets in this front rivets or crossing of the rivets. For shear it will require, shear is weaker, because for shear it is requiring more larger dia than the crossing. So that's why, so the weakest among them will be the tearing plus shearing of this rivet, and if it is tearing at this location only, that is it. So we will consider this one. So at YY location, YY location is this one. YY location tearing. So what is the area? Area will be actually this much area, because there are two rivets. So the intact area will be this, and this much is a hole, this is another hole. So the total, if this is the W, so this is D and this is D, so 2D, W minus 2D is the length into T. So that is the intact area. So W minus 2D into W minus 2 is the area, into sigma T is the tensile strength of the material. So this is the one, plus the shearing of two rivets in front of it, because when it is tearing, the front rivets has to be shear. So it is tearing plus shearing is the total strength. So shearing, so per rivet it is shearing is pi by 4 d square tau s and 2. So 2 into 2. So it is coming out to W minus 2D W this. So this amount has to be reduced from 10 kilonewton. So in that case, when the right side is less than 10 kilonewton, this will be more, right? Or so if you keep this as 7.28, in fact 7.28 diameter rivet is not there, so we assume instead of 7.28 we take 8. We got the value 6.94 as the diameter from checking the crossing resistance. But for shearing resistance, to be successful in shearing against 10 kilonewton load, the diameter of the rivet has to be at least 7.28. But 7.28 is not the standard. We take 8. So it is. So if you take this W will be more. But if you take the other case, W minus 2D crossing, 3 into 80 is equal to 10 kilonewton minus number of rivets is 2, this is the diameter, and this is the thickness is 120 is the crossing resistance. So this is this one. But out of these three, the other one is, this is for tearing at this location, and crossing of these two rivets. So tearing at this location, and this is crossing. It is taken on the other side, so it is minus. So YY and is this YI at YY, two things happen: tearing plus shearing of the rivet in front of that, tearing at this location plus crossing of these two rivets. So these are the two things. Now the plate may tear at XX. When it is tearing at XX, so there is no other rivets in front of it, it will be completely separated. So it will be W minus 2D into T into the tensile strength into the thickness. W minus 2D is the length into 3 is the thickness into 80 is the tensile strength, and we get the out of these three things, this will be the W. This will be the highest W. So we take it is as 60 for making it as a. So if you see that the width, if you take as 60, so width is actually equal to margin plus pitch. So this is the pitch. So from center of the one rivet to the other rivet is pitch. This side is margin. This side is another margin. So margin plus pitch is equal to P plus 2 margin is equal to width. Width we got to know, that is equal to width we got is 60. So 60 is equal to P plus 2 into margin is 1.5. D is this one. So it is coming out P is 36. So if P is 36, P is equal to also back pitch, that is also 36. So this is all about the design of the band brake. We talk one more problem about the riveted joint. In this is the case where two flat plates are subjected to a tensile force of P and they are connected together by means of double strap butt joint. This is a butt joint. Earlier case what we discussed was a lap joint, and this figure is given, and this is the figure. This one is the plate 1, this is another plate 2. They are joined with the butt joint because their ends are brought together. This is plate 1, this is plate 2. They are joined together, and there are two cover strap, top cover strap, and this is the bottom cover strap. So there are two cover straps. So this is about the total joint. This is the side view, and this one is the top view. You see there are two rows of rivets. So it is a double riveted butt joint with equal cover straps, because the cover strap at the top and the bottom are of the same length, but the thickness of plate is T here, and this is T by 2 and this is T by 2. At the bottom and top strap has the thickness to be 6 point to be T by 2, and they are joined, and the force P is 250 kilonewton, and the width of the plate is also given. It is given to be in the earlier case the width of the plate was not given. We find out that width of the plate. Width is here, in this case it is given, is 200 millimeter, and the rivets and plates are made up of same steel. So the plates and the rivets are made up of same material, and the permissible stress in tension, in compression, and in shear are given to be 80 megapascal, that is in tension, 120 megapascal, that is in compression, and 60 megapascal in shear. So these are given, or Newton per millimeter square. The diameter of the rivet, you have to find out what is the diameter of the rivet. We have to find out the thickness of the plate, what is the thickness, and the dimension of the other dimensions like the pitch of the rivet, the transverse pitch, and the joint efficiency. The efficiency of the joint we also find out. So there are several things we have to find out. So this is the joint configuration. It is already given. The joint configuration is given. So we have to see. So since this is a butt joint, these rivets are in double shear. The rivets are, suppose each rivet will be in double shear. This is at the location where the shear will be taking place. So first thing we have to see that whether all the rivets, if at all the failure happens, the possible failure will be the one where all the rivets will fail at once, At a time all the rivets will fail. So it will happen that all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rivets in two different rows are in double shear and all of them are sheared together, then the failure of the joint can take place. Second, it may failure at this location, or it may have failure at this location. Failure at this location means tearing of the plate at this location, and tearing at the plate at this location. So if I say this is X section and this is YY section, so all the rivet, and this section, it will be tearing. So when it is tearing at XX, the front two rivets will try to hold it together. So tearing at this location and front rivet also all fail in shear or crossing will be the one for completely taking out this plate. Because if you see, if there is tearing of the plate takes place at here, still this plate 1 will be retained by the front two rivets at this location. So to completely take this plate out, if the tearing taking place at this location, because there are 3 holes, the front rivets has to be fail, otherwise it will be retained. Similarly, the front two rivets here may either fail in shear or it may fail in crossing. So crossing a plate is avoided, because if you take 1.5D, so it will be avoided. So crossing up, the only possibility will be crossing of these two rivets or shearing of the two rivets along with the tearing of the plate at XX location. So this is the two possibility. Then it may happen that all the rivet may cross. There are 5 rivets, so all of them may cross. And then it may happen that tearing of the plate YI section. At this location, if it is tearing at this location, there are 2 rivets, so it may create 2 holes. At this location, this is weaker and it may tear out. So when it is tearing out this location, even these things are not failing, it will be separated, because this is the outer one, so it will come out easily. So there are possible failure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have to check each one of them and we have to see which is the weakest one, and based on that we have to design. We have to check the shearing strength of the rivets. We have to check the tearing of the plate at x-axis plus shearing of the front rivets. Again we have to check tearing of the plate at x-axis plus crossing of the rivets. Then crossing of all rivets, tearing of the plate at y section. All these things we have to find out and check which is the minimum, and based on that we have to design. So you have to see the shearing, check the shearing resistance. So there are 2 rows of rivets. There are 3 rivets in particular row, that is XX, and in YY as it is shown. At x-axis there are 3 rivets, at YY there are 2 rivets, so there are 5 rivets. So in 5 rivets in the width, so 5 rivets has to be shearing, and each rivet will be having a double shear, because if you look at the cross section, the rivet will be shearing at these 2 locations. The plate 1 want to come out from the joint, the rivet has to be fed at this location and this location, the interfaces of the cover straps. Then only the complete failure will shearing of the tail will take. So there are 5 rivets. This is the number of rivets: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the area of cross section will be pi by 4 d square into the shearing. This is the tau, because we have seen it is given in the question that the tau in this case is this is sigma c and this is sigma t, already given. So pi number of rivets, the area into the tau, and it is taking double shear. So this will be equal to the load, which is equal to 250 kilonewton, and in that case we find out if we take the diameter of a rivet to be 23.05, then it is going to, so we will look in the table and the diameter of the rivet we found it is 25, so we take 25 instead of 23. So if you take 25 millimeter rivet, so it will take little more than 250 kilonewton load in for this configuration, double cover strap, double riveted butt joint. And if you all the rivets may cross with all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so what will be the diameter required? So this is crossing is in this is the crossing area, because the crossing area will be this one. So this is the thickness of the plate and this is the dia. So D into T is the crossing area into the crossing resistance, which is given, crossing strength is sigma C is equal to 120 megapascal, it is given, and 25 into T it is given to be 120. So this is this. So in this case we found out that if diameter is 25, the thickness of plate is coming out to be 17. The thickness of the plate is coming out to be 17. If you take 17 mm plate and diameter of the rivet to be 25, then it is going to resist the crossing strength to be this much. So then we check for the other. So out of these two possible failure, this is done and this is checked. So we got the diameter to be 25 and thickness of the plate to be 17. So if we take these two parameters, it will sustain a load of 250 kilonewton and for a width of 200 millimeters. So we checked, and so then we have to check whether what will be this one. In this case, we have to consider what is the tearing resistance. At you have to see this one at XX. So at YY section it will be W minus 2D. This is the entire thing, W minus W is the entire thing. This is D. So W minus 2D into T is the area which is going to resist if it is tearing at this location, YY location. So W minus 2D into T into sigma T is the tensile strength of the plate. That is should be equal to this. So this is 200. This 2 into D is 2 into 2550. This is 80 and T we have no, and we come out T is 20.28. So this says if we take the thickness of the plate to be 20.8, then only it will sustain. If you take 17, it will not sustain. So we have to take the best out of them. 17 and 20 is 20.8. Now if you take, we have to check the other locations as well. You see other location, the other location is, if it is failing at this location, so from the preliminary calculation we find out that if you take the diameter of the rivets to be maximum out of them, which is, let's say set this much, sorry, this diameter is to be 25 and the plate thickness 20, it is going to suffice. So to be on safer side, we see that from the tearing it is the thickness of the plate is 20.8, and to be more on safer side, if you take T is equal to 25, little larger than, then it will be T is equal to greater than 20.8, maybe 22 or 25. So 25 is the standard plate available in the market, and if you take T is equal to 25, it is going to suffice the entire thing. Then whether we have to, if we take D is equal to 25 and T is equal to 25, then all the possible failure is sustaining or not, we have to check. So for checking, we have to see what is the total shear strength of this configuration. So if there are 5 rivets and the configuration is this one, and all of them are in double shear. So we did 2 into pi by 4 into d is 25 square into the strength of the material is 60, shear strength of the material is 60, and there are 5 rivets, and it is coming out to be 294 0.5 kilonewton. And if you see that the entire thing is crossing, then 25 is the D, and this is the T, and this is sigma C, and number of rivet is N. So number of rivet is 5, so it is coming out to 375 kilonewton, or this much. Then we have to see whether it is crossing at this location, at YY location. At YY location it is crossing. So W minus 2D into T, the resisting area, W minus T, this is W minus 2D, because there are 2D, so W minus 2D into the thickness, this is thickness, and this is sigma tensile. So if it is multiplied, it is 300,000 Newton or 300 kilonewton. And then we have to see the other two things also. Here it is the failure at this XX location, and the front 2 rivet has to shear, or failure at this location, and the front the rivet has to failure. So in this case we have to see W minus 3D into T plus this. So this is, if you calculate, it will be coming much more than this, and this is also coming more than this. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we see that the least one is this one. So if you want to find out efficiency, you have to take this 294.524 divided by the thickness of the plate is 25, the width is 200 into sigma t. So that is equal to, in this case, sigma t is equal to 80. So that will be the thickness efficiency of the plate. So out of all these things, we found out the shearing resistance to be 294 kilonewton, and in this case the crossing resistance is 375 kilonewton, and the tearing resistance at YY location is equal to 300 kilonewton, and if the shearing takes place at XX location, along with the shearing of front 2 rivet at YY location, YY section, that the strength is coming out to be 367.78 kilonewton, and the tearing at the tearing at the XX location plus crossing of the rivet at YY location, 2 rivets at YY location, is coming out to be 400 kilonewton. So out of all of them is greater than 250 kilonewton. So it is sure that the joint is not going to fail in the load of 250 kilonewton. But we want to see what is the least among them. The least among them is this one, because 294, this is 375 kilonewton, this is 300 kilonewton, and this is 400 kilonewton, and this is 367. So least is this one. So least divided by the solid strength of the plate. Solid strength of the plate is equal to, this is the thickness of the plate, this is the thickness of the plate, and this is the width of the plate, and this is the sigma t. So in this case it is coming out to be is equal to 73 point this portion. So once we know this one, diameter is equal to 25, and there are 3 rivets. So this is given as 200. So W minus D. So this is W is equal to, width is equal to 1.5D, 5D plus 1.5D plus P plus P plus P plus P. this is the width, W is equal to 200, 1.5D is margin, this is margin, this side is also margin, and this is P, and this is also P. So that is equal to 1.5 into 2 into D is 25 plus 2P, and this is equal to 200. So 200 minus this is 3 into 75 is equal to 2P. So it is 125 by 2 is equal to P. So P is equal to 62.5 millimeter. So if this is the P, and other things are also can be, efficiency is found out, this is found out, margin is found out, everything is found out. Thank you.